So you're all in on AI, right? You're investing in it because you believe it's going to understand your business inside and out. But what happens when it just doesn't? That's what we need to talk about, this super important idea called grounding. Honestly, it's the one thing that separates a kind of dumb chatbot from a genuinely powerful business tool. So let's spend the next few minutes digging into what it is, how it works, and, why it might just be the most critical piece of your AI strategy that no one's really talking about yet.
Okay, so tell me if this sounds familiar. You've got this shiny new AI, and you ask it a pretty simple question about your own company. And back comes an answer that is so confident, so well-written, and just completely, utterly wrong. It's not just frustrating, right? It's the kind of thing that makes you lean back in your chair and think, did we just waste a ton of money?
And let's be real, sometimes the answers are just funny. I mean, imagine your AI confidently telling you that your Q3 marketing plan should revolve around jetpacks, based on a project brief from 1982. This is a perfect example of what we call an AI hallucination. And here's the key thing. It's not really a bug with the AI. It's a context problem. The AI is just doing its best with whatever it can dig up, even if that whatever is ridiculously old or totally irrelevant.
Now, this isn't just a funny little quirk we can ignore. Gartner put out a prediction that's, frankly, pretty scary. They're saying that by 2026, a whopping 60% of AI projects are just going to be thrown in the trash. And the main reason? You guessed it, this exact problem, a lack of good grounding. The stakes here are just incredibly high. Getting this right literally means the difference between a successful AI rollout and a total failure.
All right, so let's put a formal name on this problem we've been talking about. When an AI just makes stuff up and presents it like it's a fact, that's a hallucination. And it is, without a doubt, the single biggest roadblock to us actually trusting AI with anything important in our business. So you're probably wondering, why does this even happen? Well, think about it. These big, large language models, they're trained on a massive pile of public data from the internet. It's huge, but it's also super generic. It has no idea what you talked about in your quarterly meeting this morning. It can't read your private product specs or your internal support tickets. So when you ask it a question that needs that specific knowledge, it basically has to guess. It tries to fill in the blanks. Sometimes it spots a pattern that isn't really there and spits out an answer that sounds totally right, but is just not. Okay, so that brings us to the good part, the solution. If hallucination is the villain of this story, then grounding is the hero. This is the process that gives our AI that much-needed reality check.
So what is it, really? At its heart, AI grounding is all about connecting a generic model to your data, your specific, your private, your up-to-the-minute data. It's all about feeding the AI the right context at exactly the right time. So the answers you get aren't just well-worded, they're actually true and useful for your business.
And this is where the magic happens. Think about the before and after. An ungrounded AI? It's a risk. It's generic. It's outdated. It's just a gamble. But a grounded AI, that becomes a genuine asset. It's specific, it's real-time, and it's trustworthy. And that is something you can scale across your whole company, helping everyone from HR to engineering make smarter decisions. Okay, so how do we actually do this grounding thing? Well, the main piece of tech that makes this all possible is a framework called Retrieval Augmented Generation. But nobody wants to say that whole mouthful, so we just call it RAG. The best way to get your head around RAG is to think of it like a personal research assistant for your AI. Seriously. Before the AI even tries to answer your question, this little assistant zips off, scours your internal files, and finds the most relevant, up-to-date stuff to help build the answer. It's like a pre-briefing.
Okay, let's break down how this RAG assistant actually works. It's basically a 4-step process. First up, selection. You ask a question, and the system is smart enough to pick out the most relevant documents from all over your company. Step 2 is representation. It then translates all that info into a language the AI can actually understand. This is a cool process where it creates something called embeddings. Then step 3, retrieval. It zooms in on the most important bits of data for your specific question, and it does this in real time. And finally, the most important part, integration. It takes all that juicy, relevant data and sticks it right into the prompt for the AI. It's basically handing the AI a cheat sheet so it can give you a perfect, grounded answer.
All right, so if RAG is the engine, we still need to talk about the fuel, and that fuel is your data. For this whole thing to run smoothly, you've got to build the right data foundation. And that means making some pretty big decisions up front. One of the first and biggest choices you have to make is, how does the RAG system get its info? On one hand, you could have it query your live databases directly. The upside? The data is always fresh, and security can be a bit simpler. The downside? It could really slow down your day-to-day operations. The other option is to create a totally separate dedicated search index. This is way faster and won't bog down your live systems. But it's more expensive, and you have to figure out how to keep it in sync. Plus, security gets a lot more complicated. So yeah, there's a real trade-off here between speed, security, cost, and how up-to-date you need your data to be. And this is so important. The quality of your grounding is only as good as the quality of your data prep. You can't just dump your entire company's data into a bucket and hope for the best. It's like garbage in, garbage out. You've got to clean it up first. That means getting rid of all the junk, the noise. You have to chunk up big documents into smaller, bite-sized pieces. It helps to enrich the data with tags and metadata, which makes searching way better. And of course, you have to create those vector embeddings so the AI can search for meaning, not just simple keywords.
Okay, so we've talked about the good stuff. But getting RAG right is absolutely critical, because if you mess it up, you can actually create a whole new set of pretty serious problems. So let's talk about the big traps you need to watch out for.
Pitfall number 1, and this is the big one: security. If you don't lock down your RAG system with really strict access controls, it can turn into a data leakage nightmare. I mean, think about it. It could accidentally pull up some super sensitive, classified information and just hand it over in an answer to someone who should never see it. You could have a massive data breach on your hands and nobody even had to hack anything.
All right, next on the list of nightmares is compliance. Your AI has no clue what GDPR is. It doesn't understand HIPAA. It's just a model. So if your grounding process starts pulling in personal customer data or other regulated info without the right safeguards in place, well, you could find yourself in a world of legal trouble. We're talking huge fines and a PR disaster.
And the last big trap is something we've all dealt with: data silos. Look, a RAG system can only see what you let it see. If some of your most important information is locked away in some old, disconnected system that nobody talks to anymore, then your AI has a massive blind spot. And what does that lead to? Incomplete answers, narrow answers, maybe even totally misleading answers, all because the AI is only getting part of the story. So when you boil it all down, grounding is what takes AI from being this cool, fascinating toy and turns it into a genuinely reliable tool for your business. It is the foundation. It's what gives you accuracy, security, and trust. So really, there's only one question left that you need to be asking your own team, and it's this: is your AI built on solid ground?